I figured that I'll try and raise my Blitz rating because my Blitz rating is below 2600 currently. It's 2584. I'm outside the top 1000 on Lichess. Inside the top 1200 though. So I think I'll do a mix of maybe 3-2 and 3-0. Sometimes it's more difficult to get a 3-2 game, but we do have a 3-2 game. Playing Dierforator. And we have a ready opening. Now, normally against a reti, I play knight f6 or d5. I'll mix it up a little bit. I'll play c5. Maybe we can transpose into a Sicilian. But g3. So one of the benefits of playing this move order is after bishop g2, I could play e5. And I guess we could get like a reverse King's Indian. But I think what I'll play is a reverse Botvinnik setup. The Botvinnik setup is a line in the English. Basically, the piece is like this. Okay, white's doing this maneuver, which is very typical. So, yeah, we both have kind of a solid setup now. F5 looks attractive. Don't want to take too long in these moments. Maybe queen d7 first, because there's some ideas of bishop h3. F5 would obstruct that. But now f5, I think, makes sense. Thank you, Christine HB. Gifting to Shallow B. Appreciate that. Oops. I allowed a message, but then it got deleted by Nightbot. Yeah, the merch store is shop.imrosen.com. Nightbot doesn't always approve of links. Okay, so I'm basically completed with opening. I've brought all my pieces to what looks like useful squares. White has a solid grip on d5. Knight supported a bunch of times. Can I play this move? Maybe we'll see some trades. Yeah, knight d5 incoming. Maybe even bishop d5. Okay, so I'm happy with the trades because now I have two bishops against knight and bishop. Like long term, that can bode very well for an endgame. Now maybe I can think about expanding, like f4. White wants to play b4. f4 does threaten to open the f-file. Could start with g5. I'm going to start with g5. I think it's a little bit more flexible. If b4, I'll play b6. Take, looks solid. Maybe white's going to go later for a4, like a4, a5. So, yeah, I don't usually play 3+2. Like usually, Title Tuesday is 3+1.
Hype.
Okay, so white is going for this plan. Thanks for the hype. Bet is up. So I don't have to worry about like getting dirty flagged, hopefully. Still have to figure out what to do here. This move looks really interesting, actually. Blocks the bishop, threatens to take the knight, takes. I hit f2. I think I'll go for this. There's a positional principle which, okay, because it's Blitz right now, I'd rather explain this principle after the game. But basically, when you have two bishops against knight and bishop, sometimes it's better to put your pawns on the opposite or on the same color as opponent's bishop. But now this pawn could be a target. Thinking bishop f5. There's also bishop d4. Also like bishop g4, 93. What if I take? Maybe taking makes the most sense. Take rook f5. Indecisive here, though. I'm gonna play bishop f5. Spent way too much time there. Expecting e3. Now rook here. I just take it. There's no rook a1. We might see queen a4 though, or that move. I'm not thrilled with the way I'm playing this. This rook can be tied down, maybe. Do I sack? Probably not. Let's play this. Yeah, time management has been very, very bad. As a wake-up call, let's play this. Queen a2 maybe coming. I have to play rook a8 probably. Or rook b8. Oh, this loses e4 though. That's not good. Opponent's taking time though. Yeah, I'm in big trouble here. At least white's getting lower on time. Take. Interesting. Really passive move. I do set up rook b8. It doesn't work. I want to play rook b2. So bishop takes e4, rook b2 actually is a nice trick. Rook b2 is not easy to stop. As knight can be annoying. But now the pieces are a little bit awkward for white. But rook c8 is in there. What's happening here? So we could end up trading, like takes. Yeah, rook c8. But now my a-pawn's going to start sprinting, maybe. A knight comes back. Yeah, I probably should have played king g7 there. Interesting endgame, though. Yeah, my king wants to be on e5 as to defend the pawn.
Happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you. Very early birthday. I'm still maybe worse here. Bishop wants to be on c6. This is one way to get there. I have an idea to play this. Doesn't really do much though. Weird position now. Try this. Trade the pawns. King is sidelined. Okay, that's a big mistake because now h3 is a permanent weakness. I think I can just take the knight and then bishop f1, even if I lose c5. Okay, somehow I'm winning this. Wasn't super clean. Yeah, I have three disconnected passers, I should say. Is white stopping all of them? But white has to be in Zugzwang eventually. Okay. Oh, what a game. Hey, it's Chessweeb. Duckmaster is alive.
Hello, father.
Does that mean you're alive or I'm alive? Or Hammer is maybe alive. Maybe we're all alive. Welcome back, Z Nation. Happy 71. One of the longest subs to the channel. Good to see you. Yeah, that definitely was not clean. I was like in big trouble in multiple points. White played well, like positionally. Like knew this opening idea. I thought I was doing fine. Like around here, it seemed like this was slow, but White actually made good positional gains. Welcome back to Andrew. Happy 19 months. C Nation says, I'd never see Eric lose a game on stream. I guess you didn't see my previous stream then. Lost a lot of games a few days ago, Title Tuesday. But always learning. Yeah, so sometimes there's this principle that, like, if the opponent has a bishop of a certain color, you want your pawns on that color to restrict the bishop. And in this case, I'd prefer to have pawns on light squares to complement my dark square bishop, which white doesn't have. But, yeah, this pawn turned out to be a little bit weak. And then, yeah, white's pieces were just better. My bishops weren't too impressive. I'll just quickly look for the improvement. And it was roughly equal. Maybe white was already slightly better. So going back, what was the better plan? Like after rook b1. Engine likes b5, which I didn't consider. I was more focused on the king side. But b5 is a nice move because the pawn's tied down to defending the knight. And then b4 is still playable. Maybe it gets messy. Yeah, then we could trade. Maybe white has a isolated c-pawn. Thank you, Chess Dots, the tier 1 sub. So, I'm actually curious, what do people prefer between 3-0 and 3-2? What time control? Let's do a very quick poll. 3-0, 3-2. Because 3-2, yeah, it leads to games where like the dirty flagging is not really a strategy, so maybe slightly higher quality. But the games do take longer too, so if I play 3-2, it's a bit less games that I get in. Yeah, this graph tells a story. It was equal for a while, but yeah, with the two bishops in the ending, it's possible to try and just milk the position. Okay, so we have 3-2 is leading by a lot. 64-36. Okay. I'll seek another 3-2 game. I'll see if I can raise my rating in this time control. Playing InvadedDorms. I'll play e4. Probably mix up the openings today. And I actually have something special planned, which I'll probably do later on in the stream, assuming I can raise my rating another 10 points. E5, this is very popular these days. A lot of people play this as like a Blitz basically a blitz weapon, a rapid weapon. Thank you, chess again. Cheering bits again. Do you ever play the bird opening? Not usually, but it's something maybe I can be convinced to play in one of these games. Oh, Z Nation got summoned for jury duty. Oh, wow. Good luck fulfilling your civic duty. I've never been summoned. Although I did get a call at some point, but it was when I was in college, and I just told them I'm a student, I have classes, and they said they would call back like in several months, but then they never did. But usually when you get summoned for jury duty, you're not actually put on a jury, you just you get put in the pool. Have to bring a bathing suit maybe. There was this recent show, was it Amazon Prime? It was called Jury Duty. It was like a very fascinating concept where everyone was an actor except one person. It was like the Truman Show meets The Office, I think is the way that the producers put it. Thank you, Dragon Transformer. Ooh, Bishop G5. Yeah, this F4 square is very much in black's control. I'm wondering if it makes sense to play Bishop E3. I mean, because where else does my queen go? Like, E2 or D3 gets hit. Maybe C4, but then 95 eventually. I guess D1. Yeah, maybe I avoid the bishop trade. Because with this structure, I definitely want a dark square bishop. I just offer the trade in knights. And the bishop, it's a little bit awkward on G5. Like maybe black would prefer to have the queen there. And maybe later I can play knight G3, knight F5. Give my opponent a taste of their own medicine. Let's see, knife F4 and knife F4 and knife F5 potentially. Oh, maybe some people in chat knew what I was referring to with the show. Okay, black wants to push a pawn. If I take... How to do this? There's knight F5 immediately, which blunders everything. So take a knight F5. Then the pawn becomes weak. Not so easy to win the pawn. Burning a lot of time here. Already feels like I'm on the back foot. I could play knight e2, we trade. Maybe this is the way to go. Not the most elegant sequence of moves, just offering trades. Okay, so the rook's aligned with a queen. D5 is thematic. I should probably get my queen out of here somehow. Maybe this move. And if takes, I take with pawn. Yeah, if I have the isolated e-pawn, it's not that bad. So I have the open f-file. F7's a target. Rook and bishop can intersect on this square. Bishop e6 might be coming, neutralizing everything. Although bishop e6, maybe I take. Although Hmm. I'm not sure what to do here.
Remember the 21st sub in September?
I don't. Take. And just this. Give black some choices. So I don't think I'm losing a pawn. It looks like black can take, and then win e4, but then I win b7. The problem is this is a long-term weakness. So it's going to take some damage control. Or just a long, like, endgame of torture. Yeah, b6, maybe a5 here. Pawns could be targets. I'm just neglecting my e-pawn for the time being. Okay, so now at least, even though I'm down a pawn, black has some weak pawns. Okay, one back the pawn. Oh, like everyone has weak pawns. It's nice I'm preventing rook b8. I don't think black should have allowed this move. Rook e6 might be played. Rook e6, bishop c3 perhaps. And then maybe I can undouble. If rook b5, I take rook here, and then, man, that structure is so ugly for both of us. Yeah, it's probably just going to be a draw. Not sure if it's worth trying to milk this position. Maybe I could try slightly more active king. Oh, really? Take? And here? Maybe here? No. Let's defend first. So if the rook keeps checking, I run to h4 and then h3 and then g3. Find some shelter. Problem is rook f4. Okay, well I have this move now. Yeah, I'm not getting much. Still slightly better for white given the disconnected pawns for black. But is there any realistic way of making progress? It's worth trying, just see if any ideas pop up. Hugging my king. Have to show some love. The problem is I can never really easily play king h4. Ooh, interesting. Okay, check. Black not wanting to repeat? Maybe black is. F4 is maybe coming. Yeah, black wants to play F4. Or H4. Yeah, this is just going to be a draw. Oh, black's not repeating though, so black's playing for a win. F4 would be funny, but then rook F8. I'll offer draw. Have to be careful not to click the resign button when offering a draw. So is my opponent playing on? Wow. I do have a little bit of less time. There was a match earlier today between Fabiano and Hikaru. And Hikaru had like a rook ending, maybe similar to this, where he was able to like play on for hundreds of moves. The thing is, even if I win this pawn, like for free, it's still a dead draw. Oops. I just blundered a pawn. Okay, now I might actually have to work for it. Because I don't have the Philidor defense set up. Okay. Just making sure. That was a long game. Yeah, now it's pretty standard. Anyway, okay, so the way to draw this ending, for those who don't know, this is called the Philidor defense. When it's king and rook versus rook and pawn, or king and rook versus king, rook and pawn, it's a very simple way of drawing. All you do is you leave the rook on the third rank, you wait for them to push the pawn, and then you move back, and the king will not have shelter. If they ever check, usually it's good practice to stay on the same file as a pawn. So yeah, F3 signals I want to move back. And now I'll start checking, even if black blocks a check. I could take the rook. There's no need though. Yeah, now I'll wait. King still has no shelter. Is black going to try and play rook versus rook for a long time? Yeah, now the checks will come. And here we see the king can't hide in front of the pawn. Okay. So hopefully that was at least instructive. It was not necessary to lose a pawn there, but at least I got to demonstrate some endgame play. You're the first person to ever make the Philidor make sense to me. Yeah, it's a pretty it's a pretty logical thing. Like there's really just what, 3 rules? You keep the rook on the 3rd rank or 6th rank if it's reverse colors. You keep the king on the promotion square usually, or right in front of the pawn. And then you just wait for the pawn to move, and then you start checking from behind. Fabiano's face was hilarious. Do we have the Fabiano emote? We do. The Fabiano emote was one of the first emotes I made for the channel. That was probably not his hilarious face from earlier today, though. That was actually a picture I took of Fabiano like years ago at some St. Louis event. Thank you, T-Gains. Yeah, there's a different version of the... how does it go? Analysis board. So in this position, black was controlling the 3rd rank. And I think my opponent could have made things a little bit trickier if they played... I forget how it goes. Like king here. Well, they played king g3. I'm remembering a position like this. Or no. After king g1, f3. And then this. And then this. And this is white to move. This is actually a useful endgame in some scenarios where black is threatening checkmate. Our rook is actually pretty misplaced because we want to be checking from behind, but it's on a2. And I think a lot of players here would play the wrong move. But clearly not Twitch chat. Twitch chat always finds the right move, right? The most logical looking move at first looks to be rook a1. Just defend the mate. But then this is winning for black because black has a plan of this. And then white's paralyzed. White can only wait basically with the rook. And then this. And now black is threatening f2. Is it still a draw after rook f1? No, rook f1 leads to f2. And black is winning the rook. And if white keeps waiting, then black will play f2, check, and win the rook, and eventually make a queen. So anyway, rook a1's the wrong move here. King h1 also doesn't work because it gets mated. So the only drawing move, table base will show this, is rook g2 check. Oh no, my rook, but then when black takes, it's stalemate. And if king f4, then our rook can get to the desired location and start checking from behind. Hey, it's Alyssa. Thanks for the raid. Welcome to the raiders. If you're just joining, I just played a chess game. That was 134 moves. It was a very long game. But yeah, it was my second game of the stream, doing some chill Blitz. I do have something planned later on in the stream, which I will reveal probably in the next half hour or so. Shout out to Alyssa. Hope you had a good stream. So I think I'll go back to the pool. I'll play another 3-2 game. Hopefully it's not another marathon game. I mean, the 2 games I played so far this stream have been kind of the same vibe, where I had a difficult middle game, I was on the back foot in the end game, like 2 end game grinds. One I managed to win. That one I managed to draw. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Gifting to Luca. Do you watch football? Or football? I have not been following football, or in the US we call it soccer, but I don't really follow either sport. I might be playing soon though. I haven't played in a while. Thank you, Chestot. Gifting to Testament. Coffee or tea? I'm drinking spilled a little bit. Drinking maple walnut sencha green tea. It's a nice blend. It's from the London Tea Room in St. Louis. Okay. If it takes this long to get a game, I might switch to 3-0. Did the poll earlier. Over 60% of people preferred 3+2, but I assume people prefer chess rather than just waiting. Yeah, I play on Lichess and chess.com. Actually, the thing I plan to do later will be on chess.com. But for now, we have another game. Let's play. Oh! Oh, what to do? Was I too slow? As if I played c5, my opponent would not be able to abort. I won't be doing duck chess. I guess as I wait for a game, I can explain what my plan will be. How to start explaining. So a few weeks ago, never mind. Okay, let's focus on this game. I'll explain later. We have the Polish opening.
What does 54 months mean?
You tell me. Piehole subbing at tier 2 for 54 months. Welcome back. Wow, so bishop b2. I'm wondering if I can somehow gambit the pawn. I'm already calculating funny lines where like queen h5 happens. I want to burn all my time here though. d6 is probably the standard move. Though knight f6 is interesting. Take another moment. I feel very provoked to play creatively. No, let's play d6. This is not a move I should have spent 1 minute on, but what to do? Develop the pieces. I do have d5 here. Might as well gain tempo on the bishop. And then maybe bishop g4? Bishop g4 f3 though. Okay, I'll play queen e7. Now bishop g4. So I'm just trying to achieve some harmonious development. Bishop d6 probably coming soon. This move looks tempting. Yeah, let's play d4. Because I'm threatening d3. f3 could... h3. Yeah, probably just this. I was going to say f3 could weaken the diagonal. Knight g3 hits the bishop and hangs a queen. Yeah, opponent was probably just moving too quickly there. We can rematch, I guess. Sure. Do it. Okay, Roxy just came upstairs begging for something. Roxy, do you want a treat?
You know what they say. 34 is the.
Here you go. Oh, we have a reverse Polish. Oops, I didn't play the bird. I forgot. Maybe in the future. So b4 again. I mean, maybe I'll play bishop. I'll play bishop g5. It's kind of a cool move. Let's speed up a little bit. Don't want to get too low on time. f6. I want to start doing things. Okay, let's start with this. Yeah, with the pawn on f6, it's harder for black to hang the queen. Still possible, though. There's a lot of choices here. Is this a move? Take, queen h5? I mean, even this. Let's play queen e2. Flexible move. Might play f4 and eventually some... Okay, now I have this move. But this also looks very solid. Some h4, h5 plan. Wow. Black castling into the attack. I mean, the knight's going to have to go back into the corner. Now queen g4 looks nice. Kind of looking at knight f7, then bishop f4. Try and get an h6 eventually. The opponent is definitely like trying to use the clock as a weapon. There's definitely a risk of playing too quickly and then yeah, being more likely to blunder. So there's a cool idea here, which I don't think I can resist. I mean, I might take first, but I might not. Yeah, let's just go for knight h4. Abandoning the center, going for knight g6. It's a fun looking idea. Because if the h-file opens and I get a pawn to g6, it's going to be pretty devastating for black. If a king g8, I can win the exchange. I could also just leave my knight here. Play this move. Yeah, I think I'll just look to simplify everything, take the pawn. Although, yeah, bishop takes, hits f2, knight f3. Thinking e5 at some point, but maybe this... I have to defend f2, though. Maybe I'll just sack f2, because the f-file could be just more valuable than having the pawn. Bishop c4 is a move. Unleashing the rook on the d-file. And now there's a tactic. Oh no, my rook. But oh yes, my tactics. A lot of double attacks happening. Okay. Oh yes, my queen trade. And now I'm gonna win the bishop in the end too. Bishop e3, king b1. What's the term for when you sack a piece or a pawn because it's in the way? That's usually referred to as clearance, where you clear a line like a file or diagonal, or you clear a square. Sometimes it's positional, sometimes it's tactical. What's the longest break you've ever taken from chess? Define taking a break from chess. So I've gone maybe a couple of years without playing like a FIDE rated tournament. But I mean, since learning how to play the game, I can't imagine I've gone more than a few weeks without playing like a casual game, like online or over the board. Andrew's back, gifting to AO Joey. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, especially recently, like last few years, maybe I've taken like days off at a time. I've definitely taken like weeks off from streaming, but taking an extended break from chess hasn't happened in any sort of time I can remember. Oh yeah, so plan for later. I'll explain it now, just to maybe create some hype. But I recently created a new account on chess.com. It's an official speedrun account. I'm going to explain all this later too before I get started. But yeah, the account rating is very, very low. And I'll be playing my first games with it. And it's hopefully going to be very instructive. It might be a bloodbath in terms of just the rating differential in the beginning because I'm smurfing my opponents, but it should be fun. Now there's a few more things to explain with kind of the mechanics of how I have to do it, so I'll save the technical bits for later. But the gist of it is, yeah, new account, speedrun account. Hopefully, the start of like a new fun educational series for YouTube and for Twitch. I've kind of gone back and forth between whether I'll stream the games on Twitch or just pre-record for YouTube. I might do a mix. But yeah, I do plan to play several games later on that account. Yeah, and the way that it'll work, I got permission from the admins on chess.com, and it's like the account is tagged, so everyone who I play will get a rating refund. And in my account, like name, it says like official speedrun account. So that's usually how it works. Maybe some people will play me without realizing they're being smurfed, but at the end of the day, hopefully it provides value to more people. Oh, Andrew says one more free sub. Who wants it? Some people say cool. Which tools are best for learning intermediate level? Yeah, there's a lot of ways to learn chess these days. It's really hard to say what the best tools are. So sometimes it depends on the individual how you learn best. So generally, it's good to experiment with a bunch of different things. Obviously, like playing online, reviewing your games. If you can afford it, having coaching can definitely help, or books, or courses, or just using the tools on Lichess or chess.com, doing puzzles. Andrew gifting 2 more subs. to Shepzard and Eleonora Kazansky. Welcome back to Pablo. Andrew gifting to Chess Notable. Okay, so moving on. I played this opponent twice, gradually raising the rating. I'll join the 3-2 pool again. Playing this person who I've never played before. And I'll play e4. Oh, Andrew gifting more to Visevlati and Racehole. Thanks so much. Okay, we have a Sicilian. I'll play the Alapin. This is an opening that I was inspired to learn actually from watching Danya. He's played this a lot in high-level chess. I think d4 is actually the main move, but sometimes these lines will transpose. Now e6. Yeah, e6 very often will lead to a structure where the center pawns get traded. Like usually d6 will happen, and we'll have a structure where I'll have this pawn on e5. I'll admit I'm out of theory here. Like I should really know the theory from this position. There's some other lines where I'm a bit more booked up. But I think these lines are a bit more about like positional understanding and knowing what the plans are. Did I just walk into something annoying? Like, can I check? No, it's already getting interesting. Hey, it's Gary. What's up, Gary? Thanks for the raid. I think Gary was doing commentary for some special event. If you're just joining, I'm being slightly attacked. I really don't want to concede this bishop. Queen a4 comes to mind. Knight c6. Bishop b5. Yeah, maybe I go for that. I might regret this. I'm realizing bishop b5, bishop d7. Like, what am I achieving? Oh, but then e3. Yeah, it's interesting. So bishop and queen cover these checking squares for the knight. Hope I'm not blundering anything. There's a funny line. a6 I take, and then I create the battery. Very rare that you see this like sequence. So knight just moves back. Yeah, a6 is coming. And now what to do? Queen. Maybe just queen d1. Oh, but then queen a5. Oh dear. So bishop d3 doesn't work. So maybe queen b3. What about castling a6? Bishop d3, 95 doesn't work. Yeah, I think queen b3 is my choice. Burned a lot of time early on here. Thanks again, Andrew, gifting to so many people. It's almost gifted 400 subs. Okay, so I'm going to put the bishop back on d3. Now there's no more knight b4. So the bishop should be safe for the time being. And yeah, with the pawn on e5, the bishop's very happy to exert long-term pressure, especially if flat castles. The queen is maybe a little bit misplaced on b3. But at least it also applies some pressure. Also defends the bishop in some cases. Black wants to win a pawn. I just want a castle. Black was also eyeing this bishop, which was not defended. I didn't really calculate this line in depth, but I think this is okay. Wow. Black can double rook sack. I think I still have to go for this. But this is a move. Opponent doesn't play it. So how about this move? I just want to play knight f3 as quickly as possible. Like if bishop d6, I play knight f3, attack and defend. That's a sharp position. My time management has not been that great in these 3+2 games. Because with the two-side increment, it's just so much more comfortable.
Hi Eric. Any
Hello.
chance for an England gambit?
Ooh.
Also, let's go.
Let's go. Probably not in this position. Maybe in a future game, though. Thanks for the
Just
dono.
reached my peak rating of 1730 on chess.com. Goal is 2000. At what point do I need some proper depth to my opening theory?
Openings are something that you can gradually learn over time. So it's not like you hit a certain rating point and that's when you should just start learning openings. But sometimes you want to review your games, and if your games are, or if you're getting bad positions from the openings in your games, then you definitely want to address it. Almost flagged there. So if f6, I think I can take the pawn. Some pressure. A lot of pieces on the d file. Now this b2 pawn is a permanent liability. I miss my queen. Be a nice position to have queens on the board. Okay, so I hit the bishop. I want to play rook d2. Maybe rook e2 is better there. Probably g3 coming soon. Just to restrict the knight and bishop. I'm fortunate that after all the trades, a4 will be hanging in the end. And this ending is actually maybe better for white, because I have the outside passer and bishop versus knight. I'm still not flagging. It's a good sign. Yeah, I'm going to put the bishop here and then start walking the king up. Even if I lose the pawn, I think it's okay. f6 is probably coming. But I can attack the pawn. Knight's still stuck. Yeah, black might be in Zugzwang soon. Yeah, this is a very crucial pawn to win. A knight is still stuck. Okay. That was not It did not feel like the smoothest of games. But actually, by the time we got to the end game conversion was pretty smooth. I think it was very instructive too. Like shows, especially the imbalance of bishop versus knight, using the bishop to sideline the knight.
Good luck, everyone. Spread the love and the merch.
Oh wow, there's a merch giveaway. This is very rare. It's only happened a few times on this channel. I'm actually not sure who triggered it, but oh, it's Josh. Josh is gifting a long sleeve I Am Rosen merch t-shirt. All you have to do is say enter in the chat, or !enter. I think this is the product that's being given away. What if I say enter? Can I enter to win my own thing? If I win it, I'll give it away. Also, thanks to everyone who I didn't address. Geek Guam, A Wolf in Water, Bitter Croissant, Lorgan 2, Happy 11, Games Talker. Yeah, sorry if I didn't answer the question super thoroughly. I was under a bit of time pressure there. Okay, the winner has been announced. Congratulations, McGo 5000. So you can go to the link to redeem your shirts. There's shipping all over US and Europe and the world. Oh, Andrew, gifting to Fourth Wall. Yeah. Fourth Wall is a company that handles the merch sites, all the back end. Oh, that was your 400th sub. Nice. 400 gifted subs. Should really earn some badge for that. I do want to take a few lessons away from this game.
Say hello to a fan. Her name is Teresa.
Oh, hello, Teresa. Thanks for being a fan. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. All the best in your chess journey. Also, thank you, Stutter Steps, for the 11 months and the kind message. Thank you, Radio Activated One. So the question earlier was, it had mentioned you reached your peak rating on chess.com of 1730. And you're asking at what point you want to, or what point should you start learning proper depth opening theory? Yeah, and the answer I gave, which maybe it can depend on the specific type of player. Like some players are just very passionate about building their opening repertoire. And if opening lines interest you, then it's something you can maybe put more effort into. But ideally, with every game you play, you want to learn a little bit about the line that you're going into and then find improvements for next time, especially if you get a bad position. So I can use this game as an example because I burned so much time early on. I probably didn't play the right theory. And what I could do, I'll show the secret thing that I do. There's a few ways to do this. What's the best way?
Congratulations.
Oh, there's a
Go 5,000 redeemed
there we go.
prize. I am Rosen logo long sleeve tee.
Oh, that was a quick turnaround. McGo already redeeming it. Nice. So what I want to do is share one interesting way to learn openings. And what you can do if there's like a player who plays the same openings that you do, or the openings that you want to learn, you can use chess.com/explorer. You can also use Opening Tree or just a database in Lichess. Because I want to learn Nereditzky's Alapin repertoire, I'm using this, and I can type in Daniel Naroditsky, other players. Wait, let me make sure this works. I think his chess.com name is just his name. Here we go. So this loads in all his white games, mainly from like Blitz and Bullet, maybe some Hyper Bullet on chess.com. He's played knight f3 the most, but recently he's been playing this e4 repertoire and c3. So he has 32 games here. And what I'll do now is see what he would do in the situation I just got myself in. So my opponent played knight f6, always plays e5, knight f3. So yeah, knight f3 is, there's some small nuances between knight f3 and d4, but it's kind of the starting point of the repertoire. And then e6. So e6 is it's one of the main moves. And here he always plays d4. And after cd4, cd4, d6. This is what happened, right? I played bishop d3. But what does Danya do? Danya plays bishop c4. Probably for good reason. He's never lost a game. Out of the 27 games he's had in this position, he wins 81%, draws 15%. Good score. And then we can explore. And sometimes what I'll do, I'll do this more when preparing for specific opponents, but maybe I can use my opponent I just played as an example, is I will copy the username. I have no idea who this is, but I could look at their black repertoire.
Chris Velo's purchased an MQ chessboard lightweight hoodie, black for $39.95 and donated $3.
Oh, thanks so much, Chris Velos. Appreciate that. Oh yeah, Danya has like other speedrun accounts too. That's true, but his main account has the largest sample size of games. Sometimes, like if you want to use other databases, like Lichess database or Masters database, are also like nice to look at. But now, okay, so if I play this player again, I'm going to play the move that Danya plays, bishop c4. And now I can see what's most likely. So they've played knight c6 40 games, 77% of the time. So what does Danya do against knight c6? Castling. Okay. And usually I'll have the windows side by side. Maybe I can do that. Is this still looking okay? Okay, yeah, I'll just have this layout for a moment, just to get a sense of how this would go down. And what I'm doing now maybe doesn't apply to everyone watching, but hopefully this gives some inside look into what I do like at my level for opening prep. So bishop e7. And now Danya always plays queen e2. Still a pretty good sample of games, 24 games after 9 moves. Opponent always castles. So I assume this is still like mainline theory. And now rook d1. So rook d1 is not the top line, but it's a very logical move. Engine likes it. Engine's giving a small plus for white. Now this opponent has always, or at least most of the time, plays knight a5. And if I had more time to prepare, I'd look at like both branches. But yeah, knight a5. Danya has encountered 3 times. Bishop d3. Knight b4. Ooh. So this is a line. E takes d6. And this is where it kind of it fizzles out in terms of like a large sample size of games. Let's look at bishop d6. And then bishop e4. This is where maybe we can check the engine too. Although I'm realizing this line maybe doesn't give white much of an edge. So if knight a5 is played, Danya always goes for this. Yeah, this is probably where I would stop looking at Danya's moves and start looking at Stockfish. And Stockfish actually goes for an interesting idea. Allows knight takes d3. Oh, which my opponent has encountered before. Rook takes d3. And then plays b6. And now maybe b4 is the novelty. B4 is not quite a novelty in Lee chess database. b4. Knight c4 and knight d2. Yeah, there's ideas of swinging the rook over. Knight e1, interesting. Anyway, I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but hopefully this is useful for some people. Yeah, especially like during over the board tournaments, I'll use these opening tree features a lot, not only to look at my opponent's games, but also to like learn an opening that other players specialize in. I've been studying so much on the London and still having trouble in the middle game. Any tips? Yeah, the middle game can be a very large area in chess. And there's different ways to struggle in the middle game with, like, sometimes with planning, sometimes with identifying what the best squares are for your pieces. Sometimes it's like, it can be tactical issues. What can be helpful is to find games in the openings that you play from strong players. So if you're looking to actually like learn the middle game or like improve on your middle game, maybe I can use this as an example. I found this random game from Danya. He played Title Tuesday. This is Title Tuesday from August. And it comes from this line that we just saw in the Alapin. And he allowed here. And sometimes what I do to study middle games is I'll find a game where I know that my side won, and then I'll try and guess the move. Or try and like predict what the winning side will be doing. And that's a more proactive way of training. So maybe a move that comes to mind is like develop the bishop. But the move Danya played, knight e5, looks really nice because he's setting up bishop f4 and also ideas of swinging the rook and attacking. So I'm not going to go through this whole game, but this is one way to actually like study the middle game. Oh, thank you, Josh, updating the merge command. If computers got so powerful and they made the best move, would white always win or would every game be a draw? Yeah, it's hard to prove, but I think the general consensus is a perfect game of chess is a draw. But even in like high level computer chess, it's still possible for strong computers to lose. There's a horizon effect. Anyway, let's move on. Hey, I got to 2600. Let's play one more game. Try and cement my rating. So we have one more game. Playing Botvinnik. And here we go. Good luck to my opponent. Because there's one London player, at least one London player in the chat, probably more. I'll play a London. I'll try and be instructive in the middle game. This probably won't be a traditional London. Knight and c3. This is more like Joe Bava London. And this is a line I like to play. I have 3. I usually go for 95. Yeah, I think the more popular move there is Queen d2 rather than taking on c5. But this is also a line. And this is actually an opening trap. I didn't want to say anything to jinx myself, but yeah, the c5 pawn was poisonous. This is now very, very bad for black because the queen has no good square. Queen's not trapped, like it can move to these squares, but then that walks into discovered attack tactics. This is probably one of the most common traps I've seen title players fall for, like early on in the opening. Like title players and high-rated blitz players. Yeah, let's do this. e5, I just take. And yeah, the key here is I have knight c5. If I didn't have knight c5, then maybe it would get a little bit murky. But I'm holding off on taking the rook, saving this knight. This and this walk into this. So now let's take the rook. And I'm up to exchange. I have had games in the past where I've lost from a position like this, so I do have to be a little bit careful. Actually wondering what the simplest approach is. Black wants to play this in 94. Bishop d3. Knight d3. I kind of like the idea of bishop e5. Even f3, like immediately. I think I'll play f3. It does feel a little bit strange, but I think it's nice to restrict the knight. Gives the queen a square too. And now this move. Yeah, so these pawns are supported by the queen, but also pressured by black's queen. Just something to keep in mind. Maybe taking in bishop here, maybe just this. It's also the idea of challenging the bishop. But yeah, let's just go for king safety first. I like this construction because it's very hard for black to get in this e5 break. Yeah, I don't think I'm too afraid. Like a3, I play b3. Is this game more fun than Fortnite? I actually wouldn't know. I've never played Fortnite, but I assume so. It's been around for longer. I think more prestige with chess, I think. Might depend who you ask. King h1. I didn't want to walk into weird knight g4 tactics. Okay, what to do? Rook f2. Point of rook f2 is I want to play bishop d3 After takes, then the b pawn will be defended by the rook. It seems like a solid move. Yeah, I will say, like, playing 3-2, it just feels like much higher quality chess than 3-0. Just a completely different game. It's kind of refreshing, too. Okay, I could take with knight, but yeah, taking with queen was the original plan. Still trying to be solid. Do I want to play g4? Maybe this first. Some idea of taking in knight d7 tactics. And this first. Yeah, realizing I should not give up the bishop if I don't have to. Okay, let's not panic. I am losing a pawn, but actually there's some tactic. Can I take on f7 there? Maybe. And g3 first. f6 might be coming. I might be in trouble here. Wow. Maybe I like barely escape. f6, knight g6, queen e8, e4 is the calculation. Let's go for this. Thank you, McGo. Gifting. I was about to say gifting 5,000, but gifting 5. Appreciate that. Maybe paying it forward. This is useful in defending the rook. So if queen c6 I can take. Yeah, now the pawns are rolling. Maybe this move? It's a little bit tricky. That's a fork. Oh no, my g-pawn. Oh no, black's queen. Okay. That was a pleasant game. Just to show the opening, I'll use the database here. I have to change the player. So I've had this position 268 times just on Lichess. Probably at least another like 50 to 100 on chess.com. And if we follow the most common line, knight f3, castling, knight e5, c5, d takes c5. Yeah, knight c6 is a little bit more common here, but queen a5 still played a decent amount.
Hi, Eric Smile.
Hello, Fife Copite. Is it Fife Copite or Fife Copite? Always forget with this name. On Lichess, queen a5 is actually the most common move. And then when black plays this move, black's on the verge of falling into the trap. Queen d2, and yeah, most people take 80% of the time queen c5 is played, which walks into knight a4. So I've had this position 7 times on Lichess. I think the best move here is knight d7. And white should be, or actually black should be doing okay. Bishop e6 is the best move, but no one knows to play bishop e6. Even on lichess, like, yeah, very few games. GM Lucas says, hello from YouTube. I am YouTube. Well, hello, YouTube. I'm Eric.
Hello, Eric. I am YouTube.
Hello, Donuts. Trying to understand the question from Pancakes Dodo. Preparation. You prefer chaotic games where both people need to win for themselves. Well, sometimes preparation will lead to chaotic games. But yeah, it's a part of chess. Everyone has different approaches. Some people put less emphasis on preparation. But I guess at a higher level, and the higher the level, the more emphasis you usually need to put on preparation. At lower levels, you can usually get out of any sort of preparation pretty early. But especially in like over the board tournaments where there's like master players and above, then it's completely necessary to like look at your opponent's games and have some idea what to expect and be prepared for the most expected line.